Hello, Kula here. Hope you guys are having a great day. It is Christmas Eve and I'm feeling really antsy, so I wanted to kind of play with my new Vice 3 palette that I picked up yesterday. I showed this in the haul I did yesterday. Unfortunately, I did an experiment with my lighting and it turned out pretty poorly, so I'm not very happy with those videos, but I didn't really want to refilm them, so I just left them up there. I'm back to my old lighting, so hopefully this works out well. My neighbors upstairs are home as well, just because it is Christmas Eve and everyone's home right now and people are in the hallway and it's noisy and loud, so if you hear some noises, I do apologize. It's just I live in an apartment, it's an old building, the walls are kind of thin. Kind of sucks, but whatever. But like I said, I just really wanted to play with my Vice 3 palette. I haven't even swatched anything in here yet. I haven't touched it. I just got it yesterday and I've just been kind of at work today and I've been doing stuff to prepare for Christmas, so I wanted to sit down and play a little bit with it. This is a pretty cool palette. This came out a long time ago. I think this came out like in September, and I'm really surprised that these are still sticking around. I'm like, remember the last couple Vice palettes sold out really, really quickly. These Urban Decay limited edition palettes seem to sell out super duper quickly, and I was really happy to get my hands on one. I know like people have done this kind of review, first impression swatches of this palette to death. There are plenty of people on YouTube you can watch. The three people I really like to watch when it comes to swatches and reviews. X Sparkage does a pretty good job, like she has like the up close photos, which I like. Allura Beauty I think does a really great job with her swatches, first impressions videos. She does a really good job of showcasing all the products and showcasing the colors. And then Vintage or Tacky I think is a really fun one to watch, fun person to watch too as well for swatches and reviews. I think she's just kind of a fun person and she does give you her real opinion, and she's kind of into more like extreme kind of, as you know, Urban Decay's I think tagline is beauty with an edge. Like I feel like she is kind of more of like an edgy person, and I think it's fun. In here there are 20 never before seen shades. I actually debated between this palette, the Shadow Box from Ulta, and then the Lorac Party palette. The Lorac Party palette is really, really pretty, and it's very similar to like the Lorac Afterglow and like the Summer Gold palettes that came out in the summer. But I went with this one because I felt like I got more bang for my buck. I have been kind of lusting after this. I do like kind of the more extreme colors. I have a lot of neutral palettes by this point in time. I mean, I have a lot of really extreme colors too, my independent makeup pigments and things like that. But I just, especially Sonic, I thought was really, really pretty. Alien, Dragon, I thought was gorgeous. And then I felt like since these are all like new 20 new exclusive never before seen shades, whereas the Shadow Box already had a couple of the shades in it, I just felt like going with this one here. It comes in this cool little pouch here. I think this is really neat. Like this is a nice pouch. Like this is not just like they just threw this in here for funsies. This is a really nice pouch, and I can see this would be great for traveling with this palette. It keeps it nice and safe. Or we can use it for other things as well. And then this is the Vice 3. It's very, very shiny. I think it's really pretty. Like when I first opened this, I was like, this is gorgeous. Like very tactile, very shiny. The back is lime green, which is awesome. And then this is like a nice flat, like skinny palette. Like the Book of Shadows and like the other like Vice palettes, I believe, are thicker, and they have a lot of cool things in them. Like I think that's really cool and artistic, and that's totally awesome. But like as everyone kind of says, like that's cool, but then like it's hard to store them, and people end up depotting them and just throwing away the boxes. So I do like that this is very sleek. It's all plastic, very nicely made. It has a magnetic closure, and then a big mirror up here, and then these are the colors. I'm trying to not like show off all the things on my desk here, but those are the colors. Very, very gorgeous. It comes with a double-ended brush up here. A lot of people say they don't like Urban Decay's brushes, but I don't mind them. Like I don't think they're bad. I wouldn't pay full retail price for them, but I mean getting them free in a palette I think is pretty cool. It's a pretty standard brush. You know, one side's just kind of like the shadow putter on her part, and then I do like the fact that it comes with kind of this blending smudge brush, because this is definitely like, this palette lends itself to looks that you'd want to like blend really well. The way Urban Decay kind of describes the color layout here, they go in quads, like in the vertical strip. So like it starts with like neutral here, there's more like the jewel tones, and then like a smoky eye kind of on the side there. So that's a nice way to visually organize things. I can definitely see where they were going with that. There are like some interesting color combinations you can make crossing the boundaries, and I think that's, you know, totally open to your own interpretation. And actually I do really like that. One of the things Vintage or Tacky brought up about another palette, I think at some point, is she liked how it was organized visually in a subtle way to help you train yourself to pick out looks and what shadows would go together. And I think this works well in this palette. Like, you can definitely look at this and you could say like, oh, these 4 colors go together, let me do a look with those. But then you could also be like, let me do like Dragon and Lucky, and let's just throw in Defy for fun in there. So I think that's really, really cool. Like I said, kind of the shadows that really drew me to this were Sonic, which is this guy up here. Alien is pretty, Alchemy is pretty, Dragon is super pretty. So I just kind of wanted to swatch these, play with them. I've not stuck my fingers in this palette yet, so I'm pretty excited to do so. So I'm going to kind of do this Terra Baby style. I think she'll put her 4 fingers in, show the fingers, and then like swipe them on her arm. So I think it's a really good way to do that. So I'm gonna go like in the order that the quads are. Fortunately, like I said, like what I like about Xmarket when she does swatches is she'll show like pictures of each individual shadow, like a close-up and then like a close-up of a swatch. Fortunately, I don't have the skills or talent or equipment to do that, but we'll just play around with this. Like I said, this is just me playing with this right now because I'm antsy and I want it to be Christmas, and it's not. And these are the first 4 guys right here. This is Truth on my pinky, this is Undone, this is Downfall, and this is DTF. And if you don't know what DTF it means, I apologize, but it is impolite. And those are the colors there. Those swatch beautifully. Like, that is just me rubbing my finger in there and putting those on my arm, and they are absolutely gorgeous. And I am immediately very, very happy I picked up this palette. So, very excited. I'm probably going to use this for a look tomorrow for Christmas. I did my nails for Christmas as well. I have Tomoko, which is like these 2 colors, and this middle one is... what is the name? I can't remember the name of it. It's an OPI liquid sand. It's the Impossible. I think I'll have to look it up for sure. I've shown it before. I've done like an Instagram swatch of it, but very pretty. I love textured polish. One thing I am noticing with my palette here is the pigments. The shadows are really powdery, so it's kind of getting on my desk, so that's kind of interesting. There does seem to be some fallout when I rub my fingers in them, but I mean, they apply beautifully, they feel very silky, and there aren't any true mattes in here. Urban Decay says that they're mattes, but they're more satins, and I am totally okay with that because I don't like mattes. I don't like how they blend. I don't feel like they blend well. I much prefer like a satin. I prefer my more like transition colors and things like that. Like, I don't need all shimmer and glitter, but I do prefer them to be a little bit more silky, like with the metallics. So look at these. These are stunning. I am so happy I got this palette. This guy in my pinky is Dragon. This is Freeze. This is Heroine. And then this is Broke Down. We'll swatch those guys right there. Just gorgeous. Look at that. Really, really love Dragon here. This is super pretty. And Freeze is really pretty too. Very, very pretty. I'm really happy about this palette. Like, I really debated about it, and I don't need another eyeshadow palette. I have so many, and I have all my like independent pigments, so I'm just trying to get the like makeup wipe wetness off my arm so it doesn't affect my other swatches. And I didn't need another one, but whenever I have like extra cash or like a coupon or something, my first thought is, what palette can I get? Because I love eyeshadow palettes. Eyeshadow palettes and kits really appeal to me. So this guy is Vanity, this is Lucky, this one on my middle finger is Rain, and this is Bobby Dazzle, which is a really pretty white creamy color. I feel like it's a nice take on Polyester Bride. So those are those swatches. They're like, seriously, like I'm just like barely rubbing my finger in these shadows, and then I'm just doing one quick swatch on my arm. That is just super duper pretty. Like, I'm gonna keep saying it, but super duper happy I got this. Alright, so this next quad here, this one has the colors I'm really excited about. I don't know what it is about these purples, but they just really drew me to this palette. This is definitely one of the reasons why I went for this. So I'm going to swatch these guys. Now, I'm not having as much like powdery problems as I did with the very first row, so I'm thinking because the very first row is kind of more of like the Urban Decay matte, like it's more of the satin ones. I think that might be part of it because mattes tend to be a little bit more powdery and chalky. But look at these colors. This is Alien. This one here is Alchemy. This is Bondage. And this is Sonic. And it's just, oh, I just love those like reddy, coppery kind of colors. And again, like look at Sonic. This top one is Sonic. So pretty. Oh, this is a very, very good first impressions. I'm very happy I won this palette. The Lorac one was very pretty, like the Lorac Party palette, the one they just released for like the new year. The palette itself, it's black, and it's the same size and shape as the Afterglow and like the Summer Glow and things like that. Same like everything like set up as the shadows, but it's like holographic black, and it's really pretty, and all the shades inside are glittery, and it was very pretty, but it didn't, I swatched them and I kind of kept shopping in the store, and they didn't really wear very well. Like, they started to fade pretty quickly, and granted, like, it was not over primer or anything, but again, this isn't over primer or anything, and these shades are turning out just beautifully. This is Last Sin on my pinky. This is Angel, this is Defy, and this last one is Revolver, which is like the dark color in the palette. This is kind of the smoky quad that they have. They have this one like random hair, and it's really bugging me. I'll have to fix it later. But this is the last like smoky quad there. So a nice, you know, nice addition. There is a nice range of shades in this palette. Like, I didn't need any of the mattes really, but it's nice that they're in there because it, one of like the things people kind of talked about with the electric palette, despite that, I think, you know, ignoring the fact that it didn't have like, I think, a yellow in it or like an orangey color, like it had that random silver color in there, that this does have a very wide range of shadows, and you could take this with you and you could do entire looks with this palette as long as you don't mind not having a matte shade. But I mean, like with these neutrals, like there's plenty of like transition shades and blending shades, and it just, it's such a gorgeous palette, and it's the shadow, like the shadows, like first impressions, I haven't used any of these on my eyes. I mean, like seriously, this is my first time just touching it and poking it and playing with it. But they all feel really great. I mean, they all swatch really great. Like, I mean, this is just like rub my finger in, swipe on my arm. That's all it is. Like, there's no primer on me or anything, and it's absolutely fabulous. So very, very pleased with this palette. Very excited to have it. I know, like, I am super late to the game. Like, I'm surprised they still have these available. I'm not sure how easy it is to get this still. I'm pretty sure it's still in stock on like the Urban Decay website, and I'm like 99% sure it's in stock at Sephora and Ulta and things like that. But I mean, man, if these shadows appeal to you, like, I would get this. It's $60, so it's a little bit on the pricey side. So like the Naked palettes are $54, and there's 12 shadows in those, so you get 20 for $60, which is pretty good. I mean, these are pretty good size shadows. Like, I'm not gonna go through any of these. Whoops, I dropped the brush. Anytime soon. I mean, I've never ever hit pan on an eyeshadow just because I have so many of them, but I would highly recommend this. I mean, go poke your fingers in it, you know, if you concerned you don't like the colors, but from first impressions and the swatches and touching this for the first time, I am very excited to get this. And so, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know, like, it wasn't as informative as some other Urban Decay, you know, Vice 3 swatch videos, but I'm just antsy and I wanted to do something, and I figured, like, if I'm just gonna poke this for the first time, why not share it with you guys? So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really appreciate you watching, and hope you have a great rest of your day.